Hello, everyone. I'm Simon Preston, and welcome back to Reggae Boys Commentary. Thank you all so much for tuning in to another video on this channel. Really appreciate it. This is your hub for Jamaican football content. If you guys haven't already, I encourage you to hit the like button, and after you hit the like button, to hit the subscribe button. Okay, guys? So with all of that being said, what I want you guys to be aware of is the title. And that is what we're going to discuss right now in this video in particular, so that you guys are fully abreast of everything, really. So, like I've always said, good things come to those who wait. And you see what has happened? That's right. Jamaica have two confirmed friendly matches. I told you, do not get caught up in what you're seeing online with Brazil, Argentina, Chile, Uruguay friendlies. It's great that Jamaica have played all these teams in the past. And two, Jamaica's time to play against these countries will come again, maybe even before Copa America. Who knows? Because, sometimes the Gold Cup winner is attracted by interest in CONMEBOL as well for a friendly match. So you never know what can happen in the immediate future. You know what I'm saying? So let's see how things unfold. But the two confirmed friendly internationals are Qatar and Jordan. That's right. Qatar and Jordan. Jamaica's played Qatar before, and that was a 1-1 draw last year in Austria. Jordan Fletcher scored in that game in particular. Qatar, as we know, went on to host the World Cup in the first time in the Middle East. And Jordan, this will be the first time that Jamaica will be playing against Jordan. And I know many people already are saying, well, where are these nations? Where are they in particular? And that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to show you guys so that you guys can see specifically what we're talking about. So let's look at where Qatar is. So this is Qatar right here in the Middle East. They're literally just on top of Saudi Arabia. Okay. So this is Qatar right here. This is Saudi Arabia. This is the United Arab Emirates right here. Yeah, this is the United Arab Emirates right here. And this is Oman. This is Yemen. And on top of Saudi Arabia, of Jordan. And Jordan is located right here. So this is Jordan, and the capital city of Jordan is Amman. Right, so this is Jordan. All right, as you can see, it's a lot of desert land, but this is Jordan. And Jamaica's games will be played in Austria. That's right, Austria is where the games will take place, and this is where Austria is. So this is Austria. And what I want to show you guys is that Europe is quite an accessible place, because you see, you have a train that goes from London to Paris, and a train that goes from Paris to Brussels and Brussels to Vienna. So when you bear that into consideration, you could have the Jamaican diaspora from the UK attending the game in Vienna. You also have the Jamaica Switzerland Association. So persons from the Jamaica Switzerland Association, which are Jamaicans who live in Switzerland, can go from Switzerland to Vienna. And as you know, we have a number of Jamaicans that are in Hungary and also within the Czech Republic as well. So these are opportunities as well for them to be at the game and make themselves there, And we know about Jamaicans in Austria already. We know about Deva Orgil, and we know early days, especially when Leon Bailey scored 99 goals there in 24 appearances. It was just absolutely fantastic to see the run that Leon Bailey gave. And again, personally, I think that Austria was a great avenue in terms of that stamping authority and stamping his ground with everything in Europe. So let us press on forward now. Now that we looked at the geographical locations, I know many people want to see other aspects, and that's what I'm going to look at right now for you guys to be fully aware about. So right now, what you're seeing on your screen are, that's right, the FIFA Rankings. Jamaica, 63rd in the world. Let's look at those teams, Qatar and also Jordan. So this is the AFC, so the Asian Football Confederation rankings. So Qatar, they're 6th in the Asian Confederation behind Japan, Iran, South Korea, Australia, Saudi Arabia. So Qatar, they're 6th. They're 61st in the world, all right? Qatar right now, 61st in the world. And Jamaica, 63rd in the world right now. Okay, so in relation now to Jordan, where Jordan? So Jordan are 12th in the Asian Football Confederation rankings. They're 12th in Asia and they're ranked 84th in the world. So that is where Jordan are ranked right now in proceedings. And I know you guys might be wondering, let's learn a little bit more about the teams. And that is exactly what we're going to do right now. You know, this guy right here, Khalid Munir, he's actually the individual actually scored for Qatar against Jamaica in that 1-1 draw, the same match where Jamaica took the lead. Yeah. And you know what's, you could say, not only does Jamaica have experience against Qatar, but let's not forget as well that Coach Jaime Hallgrimsson has experience coaching in Qatar as well. He worked with Al Arabi for 3 years, from 2018 to 2021. He was the head coach of Qatar Stars, of Al Arabi in the Qatar Stars League. You know, so he also has some experience working in Qatar. He has experience being in the league. He has experience knowing the players that Jamaica will also come up against as well. So that also helps things quite vividly. He will know the style of play as well, which I'm going to get into as well from a Qatari angle as well, and why this is good preparation from a Jamaican standpoint. So I'll get to that as well. And when you look at the Al Arabi team right now that, you know, coach managed right now, you're talking about Mark Munisea. Remember him from Barcelona and Stoke City? Yep, he's there as well. Amongst Rafinha. Yep, he's there at Al Arabi right now. Not the same Rafinha from Leeds, but the same Rafinha from PSG and Barcelona. Yep, that same Rafinha as well. So now that we have that looked at as well, let's talk a little bit more about the Qatari team, shall we? Now, Qatar, they are led by Carlos Queiroz, and everybody knows what Carlos Queiroz brings to the table, right? Carlos Queiroz is an individual that is a vastly experienced coach. Yes, he's 70 right now, but he's still strutting his stuff quite well. And let me tell you guys something about Carlos Queiroz and why a match of this nature is incredibly, incredibly, incredibly important. Carlos Queiroz, he qualified South Africa for the World Cup in 2002, coached Portugal in 2010, Iran 2014, 2018, 2022. He also led Egypt to the runners-up spot of the Africa Cup of Nations in 2021, and he also led Iran to the semi-finals of the Asia Cup in 2019. Now, there's some trends that Carlos Queiroz has when he manages teams at major tournaments. All right, so listen to this. When he coached South Africa at the 2002 edition of the Africa Cup of Nations, South Africa conceded 3 goals in 4 games. That's the least goals conceded in the tournament. Portugal at the 2010 World Cup conceded 1 goal in 4 games, the least of any team at the tournament. Iran at the 2014 tournament World Cup conceded 4 goals in 3 games. First 2 games, they conceded 1 goal. Iran in the 2018 World Cup conceded 2 goals in 3 games, conceded the least number of goals in the tournament. Colombia in the Copa America tournament in 2019 conceded 0 goals in 4 games, eliminated in the quarterfinals on penalties, the least number of goals conceded. Egypt at the Africa Cup of Nations in 2021 conceded 2 goals in 7 games, the least number of goals conceded at the tournament. All right. So that tells you a lot. So under Carlos Queiroz, whoever he coaches, whoever he manages, you can rest assured that he will ensure that they become defensively organized. Against bigger teams, he's not afraid to use a 3-5-2, but predominantly he will favor 4-4-1-1 or even a 4-2-3-1. He always ensures that if he loses possession high up the field, that the back four is in place to be organized to defend crosses or handle counterattacks. Set pieces are also a key component in Carlos Queiroz and how he wants to operate as well. So I think it's going to be important that in terms of this match in particular, in terms of preparation, both matches, but for Qatar as the first friendly prior to, it will really make the Jamaican team work for opportunity, and it can only bode well for the Gold Cup, because at the Gold Cup, you can imagine there might be spells of games, a 10-15 minute spell where you might not be creating the chances that you want, or you might not be getting the clear-cut opportunities you want, but the Qatar game helps us to build the patience that we need to be able to handle situations of this. So that's why I think the Qatar game is so important for the Jamaicans for this encounter. Now, let's look at Jordan. Now, Jordan, They've never qualified for the World Cup, but they do hold some, you could say, pedigree in Asia. And I'll explain what I mean there. Now, in the Asia Cup, the best run they've had is the quarterfinals, and this is when they went to the quarterfinals in 2004 and also in 2011 as well. In 2019, they went to the round of 16 of the competition. In the West Asia Championship, they were runners-up in 2002, 2008, and in 2014 as well. In the FIFA Arab Cup, they went to the semi-finals in 2002 and the quarterfinals in 2021. In the Pan Arab Games, they won the gold medal in 1997 and also 2005 as well. So that is their, you could say, experience when it comes to international football. But when it comes to the head-to-head record, what is their record like against Caribbean teams? Well, they have taken on Haiti once, and they lost that game by 2-0. As it relates to other CONCACAF teams that they've played against, well, we made mention of Haiti in particular, but apart from that, they've taken on Mexico. They drew that game 0-0. So it's not really been a lot of experience against CONCACAF teams. So when you're looking at this match in particular, they've taken on Haiti, they've taken on Mexico, they've taken on Trinidad and Tobago. They've won that game by 3-0. You see what I'm saying? So it's 3 matches against CONCACAF teams. So they've won 1, they've lost 1, and they've drawn 1. You know, so that's the record with things right now. In relation to what Jordan are trying to, or what Jordan are preparing for, it's basically the 2023 edition of the AFC Asia Cup Group E, and that is set to commence January next year. And why the 2023 Asia Cup is so crucial, which of course, as we know, is now shifted to 2024. Why this Asia Cup is so important is because it plays a long role in terms of seedings for the future as well. A very, very far where you can get to the knockout stages, a possible knockout and playoffs. So this is important, very, very important. You know? Yeah. Yeah. So that's the situation there from a Jordan angle. Now, tidbit, did you guys know that Harry Redknapp was the manager of Jordan? Yep, Harry Redknapp, the former Tottenham manager, was the manager of Jordan at one point. Yep, that is true. So Jordan, in terms of recent history, right? They ended the calendar year 2022 with a 3-1 loss to Spain, and that was in Amman, Jordan. They started this calendar year, and in March, they defeated the Philippines by 4-0 in Doha. So on June 16, they'll take on Serbia in Vienna, and on the 19th, they will face, as we know, Jamaica. The games, I should say, will take place in Werner Neustadt. And this is basically in south of Vienna. That's basically where it is, so that you guys can be more informed with the information there. Their head coach right now is Adnan Hamad. And Adnan Hamad played for Iraq from 1982 to 1986, where he scored 6 goals in 17 appearances. So he was born in Iraq and played football, and also has managed since the 90s as well in the UAE, Lebanon's national team, Qatar, Jordan, back in 2009 to 2013, and now he's back again with Jordan this time around. Right now, his record with Jordan has been impressive since 2021, as in the 21 games that he has managed, he's knocked off 15 wins and 6 losses. That's 15 wins and 6 losses so far with Jordan. One thing with Jordan, although Jamaica has not played them, it presents a different sort of challenge. And I say that because you are coming up against a team that is predominantly, in terms of their personnel, playing their club football in the Asian region. They have players that play in Saudi Arabia right now, players that play in Jordan, players that play in Egypt, players that play in Malaysia, players that play in Bahrain, players that play in Tunisia, players that play in Qatar, and also players that play in Belgium as well. Yes, they do have European player in their team. That's Musa Al-Tamari, who was born in Jordan and was playing recently at Leuven and now playing at Montpellier, which is a team in Liga. Musa Al-Tarami, 25 years of age, and has been a Jordan international for quite some time. So Musa Al-Tarami has done his work and certainly will be trying to make himself a presence in the grand scheme of things. So I'm looking forward to these two games. I think it's going to be a grand opportunity for the Jamaicans to be able to prepare well for the Gold Cup. And I know some people, you start to say, but Austria is in the state, is in Europe, and it's X amount of distance away from the States. It's actually perfect when you put things into perspective. Absolutely perfect, because 2 games and then you leave Austria the 20th and then fly to the United States and you arrive the same day, the 20th, 8-hour flight, and then the game is the 24th. You use the rest of the 20th to recover. You start, gentle preparations. The 21st, 22nd, you go into high gear, and the 23rd, you put the final pieces of the puzzle together to prepare for the United States on the 24th. So I think it's great, and I can't wait for these games that lie ahead. Okay, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you very much. If you guys haven't already, I encourage you, hit the like button. And after you hit the like button, you hit the subscribe button to Reggae Boys Commentary for more content.